The vision, the mission, and the core values of the organization have to be in your head. Like, you should have crammed it. You should know it. 30 minutes a day to GMAT-based questions, to numerical reasoning can take you very, very far. Like most of us, right? We probably do not know Zedcrest. This one too is also fast, right? It was very fast. Now, compared, the assessment was for about 90 minutes, and I've always maintained one thing on group exercise. You need to arrive at one wholesome goal. Right? They want to see how you guys can work together in a team. Then there was the one-on-one interview, right? The one-on-one interview is with a panel of 3 persons in top management level, maybe managers and senior managers, really. You don't have an answer. It doesn't work like that. You have to have an answer. You have to. Beyond saying something, right? You need to say something coherent. You need to say something that has meaning. You need to say something that has weight. Good morning. Good afternoon, good evening to another episode in the Graduate Trainee series where we discuss how different folks have gotten into different firms in the country through the graduate trainee pathway. And again, if you're watching my video for the first time, here, the reason why we make these videos is just that we believe that you can get into any of the top firms in the country, or most of the top firms in the country, without having an experience, right? You graduate, you do your NYSC, right? And then you have a chance on merit to enter any of these firms. And today we'll be talking about the Zedcrest graduate training. Now, I need to start like this. Like most of us, right? We probably do not know Zedcrest, right? And I even think when it came out, I'm not sure I even posted it on my X account. Not so sure now, because I'd never heard about it. But I went on their page and I saw that they're actually a financial services firm, right? So I looked through it, and then that was when I was like, okay, I pushed it out and then mentioned it to some of my guys that they should eventually check out the firm. So I have one or two folks that actually are currently in their boot camp right now, and then they gave me a rundown of their experience and how they actually, of course, how they got in. Right. So I've scribbled everything in my journal here, and then I'll just narrate it the way they narrated it based on their experience and what I think they did very well to actually get into Zedcrest, right? So, first things first was, I think maybe the application came out last year, December, or this year, right? I can't put my hands on it, to be honest. I can't lay my hands on it, but I'm thinking it's actually this year. And just like the previous video, the Wema Bank, this one too is also fast, right? It was very fast. Now, compared to the Wema Bank, I can't remember the fastest, because I remember when I did Wema Bank, I said it's the fastest I've seen. And actually, when I did Wema Bank Zone, it was the fastest, but this one too is also very, very fast. So, so let's start with the whole, how did you know about it? Again, everybody kind of know about this thing the same way. And I cannot fully stress this. You need to join communities, right? You need to join communities. This guy was in different communities, even beyond my own community, right? So joined many other different groups, and he was sent a mail for aptitude. So either I applied early this year or late last year, right? And late last year will be December, but most likely I think I saw Zedcrest early this year. And this year is 2026, right? So they sent him a mail for aptitude test, right? On 20th of February, 2026, right? So he has to write the aptitude test on the 20th of February. He wasn't sent the mail on the 20th of February, but he has to write the aptitude test on the 20th of February. But one thing about the whole thing for him was that he had another interview that day when he had to write this test. And then I think he finished the interview. You had to write the test, I think, between a window, all those between 10 and 2 p.m. and all of that, yeah. So I think he finished the interview and then ran out of the building, and then just had to beg one of the securities in one of the restaurants. He said, please, let me just find a way to write this thing. And the assessment was the normal assessment around, right? The GMAT, the reasoning, verbal, and all of that. And then I think the assessment was for about 90 minutes. Yeah, it was for about 90 minutes. Again, the only way I know to pass assessment is through practice, consistent practice. And this is what I say, yeah. You're probably doing something now or you're serving or something. Please, 30 minutes a day to GMAT-based question to numerical reasoning can take you very, very far. Right? Can take you very, very. This is not even for Zedcrest or something. But if you know that you are still actively in the entry level um, job hunting pool, you're applying actively to graduate training, please, by all means, try to do maybe 30 minutes a day, consistently, a day, just like you prepare for exam. Because once you've written this exam once and you've gotten into a firm, most of the other jobs you're going to be needing would not require you to write numerical reasoning or something else, right? Please, please. So 30 minutes a day, right? So he got into the place. I mean, just of course there was tension and pressure. I mean, he just did what he could do and then he submitted. Said he thought everything was gone. But then they sent back a mail for assessment center on the 4th of March, 2026. Right. Now, February 28th to 4th of March. I think that's just for this, right? That's just for this. Right. And the assessment center was a full package assessment center, but he said it didn't take so long, right? You are going to do one-on-one interviews. You are going to do group exercise, and then you are going to do your presentation from what you got from the group exercise. So this was how it went, right? Now, it started with the group assessment. Yeah, I think the group assessment. So the group assessment was you're going to be in a group of 6, right? And they're going to give you a case study, of course. And I think I'll make specific videos on group case study, but I've written threads on X, right? I'm going to just link my X account below just for you to go find all my threads on things like this, right? So group exercise, you're just going to be in groups. And then what you do in group exercise is you're presented with a problem that needs a solution, right? So you bring out the solution, you guys deliberate around it. And I've always maintained one thing on group exercise. You need to arrive at one wholesome goal, right? They want to see how you guys can work together in a team, right? And in their case, after the group exercise, you guys are going to present your solution, how you came about the solution, based on the different metrics that you were given in the group exercise, right? Again, most of the time, right, it can be futile to know the exact questions asked in group exercises because they wouldn't likely give you the same question in the next one. And you don't most of the time, right, you have another set of questions where they give the next set, where they give the... So do not be focused on, hey, what did they give the last set? No, just be focused on how you can do research, how you can get very wonderful points to back up your claim, how you can present, and how you can articulate yourself when talking about your findings during the group exercise, right? I think that's even much more important. Very, very, very important, right? Then after the presentation was done, then there was the one-on-one interview, right? The one-on-one interview is with a panel of 3, right? A top one of the persons in top management level and maybe managers and senior managers, really. So there are 3 people. And then be prepared for question like, why Zedcrest, right? Because to be honest, many folks don't even know Zedcrest, right? And you would be shocked that there will be a lot of people that you're going to ask, why this firm that you've applied for, firm that you wrote aptitude for, and then they're asking you why this firm, and you're like, you don't have an answer. It doesn't work like that. You have to have an answer. You have to at least attempt to say that, see, I love your firm so much. I love their... You have to say something, but beyond saying something, right, you need to say something coherent. You need to say something that has meaning. You need to say something that has weight. right? That because it's at that point that they're already assessing you. A question like why Zedcrest falls around, is this person a match for Zedcrest? Why did you even apply in the first place, right? I know that it's because you need a job that you applied, but again, just be able to talk about the firm that you're applying to. It is very, very important. Then, for those of you probably that are not in the financial sector, or you didn't study anything that fits into the financial sector, engineering, biology, um, biology, microbiology, chemistry, science is majorly marine, geophysics, geology, geosciences, all those things, right? You would have to have a way to answer, right? And the point is, if you ask question around what's the correlation between your course and where you want Zcrest, it's actually a question you can be asked because it's one of the questions listed here that the person was asked, right? And then you want to go into the other competency base as a leader. And again, see, questions like this here, the vision, the mission, and the core values of the organization have to be in your head. Like, you should have crammed it. You should know it, right? You should. And those things are not even, maybe vision, they have like 3 lines. Mission, maybe like 4 or 5. Or some even have 3, right? Sorry, the core values rather, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5. Mission, maybe 3 lines. Vision, maybe 3 lines. And then you can frame your answers along that scenario, right? Because it really does say to those interviewing you that, oh, this guy has gone to, yeah, this guy has gone to check us up. This guy has an interest in our firm, and then he's looked us up. And it's even much good, right? When you're just a fresh graduate, they know that, okay, this guy is serious, right? Or this person is serious, right? And after that, and by the way, yes, I should mention that your interview is based on streams, or yes, streams, right? Because there is the investment arm, there is the securities and exchange, and there's the sales and business development and all of that. So you are going to be chunked into the particular stream you choose, and then after that's how they are going to. So it means that the people interviewing you are from the department you want to join. So they are also looking at how can this person fit into my department, the heads of the department, saying that can I work with this person? Does this person have the right mindset? Does this person have the mentality to want to push the boundaries, right? Does this person have certain qualities that we need on our team? For the group exercise, they are looking, can this person work with us as a team? Are we not going to shoot ourselves on the leg by hiring something like this kind of person? So those are the questions that they want to that you will be answering unknowingly when they ask you certain questions. For example, why is Zedcrest? They are looking at how you're going to answer. So all of those questions are your mannerisms, your speech, the way you speak, the things you say. They are answering those questions, even though they might not explicitly say, how will you be useful to our team? Because of course they are going to train you for at least the first year or the first few months or something, right? So yes, you'll be in different streams, and the managers that you'll be working with will also be there to assess you, right? So February 28th, they wrote the aptitude test. March 4th, they had the assessment center. Then March 21st, they got the mail that you're successful, right? Of course, for those that are going to go from that assessment center to that point. Then on the 21st, the following thing was documentation. So documentation is where you now confirm all the documents you've sent, right? Birth certificate, maybe for your age, your undergraduate certificate, for your results from university, other documents really that they usually ask in all of these things. I think in the Deloitte video we listed everything out one by one. So I think most of the time it doesn't change from those documents, right? It doesn't change from those documents. And then after the documentation, then you get the notification for the bootcamp. Now, so Zcrest has their own version of banking school, and they call it bootcamp. So essentially, 72 people made it past made it into the boot camp, but they're going to just pick about 51 of the 72, right? And the boot camp is going to run for 5 weeks. Now, I do not, or we do not know the curriculum of the boot camp yet, but the point is you should just prepare to lock in whenever you get any of these opportunities, right? You should prepare to really lock in because this might be just the opportunity you need for your career to take off, right? It might be the opportunity you just need. So yes, and then boot camp runs for 5 weeks, 72 people made it, and 51 people would be chosen. So that's the breakdown for Zedcrest graduate training. And one word, right, is this. Again, I'm going to say it that there are different tracks, right? But don't look down on sales. That's one. Two is this, yeah. If you're just finishing service, around 2 months, 3 months, please, you should start applying to these things. I know that this one I'm talking about is quite fast, but please, you should definitely start applying because it just means that you're finishing service and you are increasing your probability of getting into workforce immediately. You would like be maybe top 10% of corpers that would have the opportunity. Really, that will, that will, because it happened to, I think I made mention of this in my Stanbic video. One of the people that I sat with that spoke to me about Stanbic was the exact same thing. Finished 500 level, served, immediately after service was getting into Stanbic. What a great way to like start your career. You're wasting no time. You're not getting to 28 and start fighting for the graduate training because of age and all of that. So please, how did they say it? Make a while the sun shine. So please. So start applying. And yeah, I think this is all about Zedcrest graduate training. And yeah, just kindly subscribe, like the videos, share the videos. And please, anyone you know that needs this, university students that are in their final years, corpers, entry-level guys that are looking for roles, please share to them. Yeah. And bye for now.